Hey, welcome guys, the Tech Boss here, and in this video you're going to learn about the history of Mixer and how Mixer met its downfall. So if you want to know what destroyed Mixer, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would massively appreciate that. And with that being said, let's get started, shall we? Mixer is a Seattle-based video game streaming platform, and it was launched and announced on January 5th, 2016 as Beam. For those who do not know, Mixer was first called Beam, so there's a fun fact for you. And this streaming platform used a protocol called FTL, which stands for faster than light, which basically means that this had a less than a millisecond of response time between the broadcast of the streamer and between the user, which creates a live interaction between the user and the streamer. So that was a really high, it had a really high potential, and it was a really high selling point, you can say, but they're actually not selling anything. So yeah, they had such a good protocol up their sleeves. Then why did it fail? Why did Microsoft announce on June 22nd of 2020 that they're going to be shutting down their new streaming platform a month later? On August 11th, 2016, Beam was bought by Microsoft, and on October 2016, it was being reported that Beam is going and being integrated with Windows 10 and on March of 2017, Beam was being integrated with Xbox heavily. So if you guys don't know, Windows and Xbox both belong to Microsoft, so they're integrating Mixer with their own other platforms so that they can make it work well. And on May 2017, Microsoft announced that they're officially rebranding their streaming service from Beam to Mixer, because they told that the reasoning they gave was that they weren't able to use the name Beam globally, so they decided to change the name. And with that rename, they bought some new features like co-op streaming, where one streamer can call 3 other streamers and they all can stream together, which was not really a groundbreaking feature. And they bought a mobile companion app for iOS and Android, of course, and which basically users can use to make content out of. So the whole premise of Mixer was to make interactivity between the user and the streamer as streamlined as possible and as quick as possible, but what they missed is the interactivity between the company Microsoft and then the streamer. So basically both of them not communicated resulted in a big mistake which Microsoft made, which they didn't realize at first. So let me just tell you guys that on December 6th, 2018, they bought up a new currency called Embers, and what this does is basically it is Twitch QuickBits, not QuickBits, it's just Twitch bits. Sorry, it's just QuickBits. So what you can do using that is basically the user can buy those Embers for a specific amount of money and for a specific amount of Embers, and then they can donate it to the streamer, and from that way the streamers can earn money. And with this came the biggest problem that Mixer had to face. Mixer, previously known as Beam, used 2 types of currency and still uses those 2 types of currency till date. So the first currency announced was called Sparks. So what basically Sparks does is that if a user watches somebody's content, they can earn Sparks using it, which is basically I think 50 Sparks per minute. And if you have the pro version of Mixer, you can earn 50 extra, and if you sub to their channel, you can earn 200 extra per minute. So I'll just put a chart about here so that you can better understand it. If you want to see the chart, you can just pause the video. And now what this basically did was that was the main type of currency which Mixer used, and streamers used that to donate money to the streamers, and streamers earned money from it. but it was not the main source of income. People wanted something more, so they bought up something called Embers. What Embers did was it was like Twitch bits. So basically people can buy those Embers and then give it to the streamer and donate it that way. But here came the biggest problem. Now sparks were basically used as a percentage increase. Like for an Ember bonus, the streamer can set a specific amount of of sparks they can gain from a specific amount, and from that sparks they can gain percentage increase such as 5% or 10% or even 15% increase on their Ember. So whatever Ember a streamer earns, they can increase it by percentage using a specific amount of sparks. So that's how it basically worked. And here is the biggest problem ever. The people who can increase the value of Embers were the people who were partnered up with Microsoft, or the people who were partnered up with Mixer for that matter. So basically people like Ninja and Shroud and some other partnered Mixer streamers were the only people who were able to get benefited from the use of sparks, and no one else were the people who were just casual streamers. They were not getting any percentage increase or Ember bonus increase from the sparks they get. So the sparks was basically useless for them. It can only be used to give a animated chat or something a user wanted to convey to the user. That's what sparks were used for normal people. But for partner streamers, they were a source of income, and this is a potential problem for Mixer. There was a huge and similar problem that happened with Microsoft in the past, and it's really depressing to see a company like Microsoft do the same mistake again and again. And yeah, I'm talking about the operating system Windows Phone, and this might not be the best comparison to make, but it came late to the party, just like Mixer did. So Windows Phone came late compared to its competitors Android and iOS, and that's the same with Mixer. Mixer came late from their competitors Twitch and YouTube, so that was a big downfall. So the second downfall was they offered less features or the same amount of features as competitors were offering, and people who made their career using the other platforms were just not considering shifting to a different streaming platform. And the third problem came with the partnerships they made. So with Windows Phone, they partnered up with Nokia, so basically they used Nokia phones to provide them Windows Phone operating system, but the other companies had to pay for it, which pissed off all the other companies, and then they never used Windows Phone ever again. So that's the same thing which was happening with Mixer. So they were partnering up with people and providing them certain benefits and bonuses that non-partnered streamers were not able to gain. So this is a huge mistake which Mixer had done, and now you see the similarities, right? So these are the potential reasons for the downfall of Mixer. If you like this video, then hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, then hit the dislike button. That doesn't work this time. I put a lot of effort into it. And if you please consider subscribing to my channel, I would massively appreciate that. And with that being said, I'm your host Harish, and I'll meet you guys in the next video. Peace.